I'm Trisha, BookPage web editor here at BEA with Jennifer Donnelly, the author of Revolution. And Jennifer, for the people who haven't heard of your book yet, could you give us like a quick synopsis?
Absolutely. As the title suggests, it's about the French Revolution. On one hand, it's about the French Revolution and one of its tiniest victims. And on the other hand, it's about a more internal revolution, the revolution that we as human beings all go through as we try to figure out the world and our place in it. Without giving too much away, the story centers on two young girls, both aged 17. Andy, who's a modern-day girl and lives in Brooklyn, and Alex, who lived in Paris during the French Revolution, and was actually close to the Dauphin, the young son of Marie Antoinette and Louis XVI. Their stories converge when Andy travels to Paris with her father and finds a diary that belonged to Alex. And Andy's a very troubled soul. She suffered the loss of her younger brother. She finds comfort and hope in the diary pages. But ultimately, Alex's words aren't enough to keep Andy off the very self-destructive path she's on. She needs something more. And she finds that one night during a journey through the Paris catacombs where the past comes very suddenly and very frighteningly to life.
Has the French Revolution always been an interest of yours, or where did you get the idea to write about it?
That's a good question. I'm interested in history, so it interested me, but I wasn't zeroing in on it until I read this article in the Times about 10 years ago. I was just flipping through the New York Times, came across this article that said, "Geneticist's latest probe, the heart of the Dauphin," had a picture of a priest, and in the foreground of an etched, very intricate and old glass urn, and within that urn a small human heart that had been, that we thought was 200 years old, had been in the Basilica for the last 30 or odd years, and they had just run DNA tests on this heart in 1999, and they had found that it belonged to Louis Charles, the young son of Marie Antoinette and Louis XVI. I was blown away by this article. It stayed with me, it haunted me. I read a little bit of the background of Louis Charles and found out that after his parents had been guillotined by the revolutionaries, he was actually kept in prison, was put in solitary confinement. He was only 8 years old at the time, and because of disease, neglect, hunger, very poor treatment, and he died at the age of 10. This kind of blew me away, and I couldn't reconcile the magnificent idealism of the French Revolution with this incredibly cruel treatment of a child. So I wanted answers, and kind of went on a quest in this book to find those answers.
Andy is into kind of punk music. She's a little bit of a rebel as the book opens. If Revolution had a soundtrack, what songs would be on it?
What songs would be the Ramones, Pink Floyd, Radiohead, the Decemberists. She's a musician, a very dedicated, very talented musician, and she listens to a lot. She's also trying to create her own music. Because of what's happened to her in her life, the loss of her brother, her parents kind of coming apart, her whole family coming apart, music is really the only thing she has to hold on to and the only thing that's keeping her together.
And do you play an instrument? You write about her love of music so well.
No, I don't. I don't know a quarter note from my elbow, but I really love music, and I'm fortunate enough to know some musicians, so I'm kind of latched onto them and had them help me and explain things to me.
And since we're here at BEA, have you been to New York before? What's your favorite thing to do in New York?
My favorite thing to do in New York? Oh gosh, probably just walk the streets and watch people. People are endlessly fascinating, and it's such a parade of so many different characters. So either walk and watch people or sit, have a coffee somewhere and watch the world go by.
It's one of my favorite activities anywhere, actually, having your coffee. And have you heard about any books here this fall that you're looking forward to reading?
Yes, actually. I keep hearing of one called The Passage. I think it's published by Random. It's, I guess, yet another vampire tale, but I love vampire tales, so I'm really excited to read this one. I've heard good things about it.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Jennifer, and the book is Revolution. It's out this fall.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.